What if the most important thing you did this year wasn't something you achieved, but something you noticed? What if clarity didn't come from pushing harder, planning more, or fixing yourself, but from slowing down long enough to actually see your life as it is? Most of us move straight from one year into another without ever really pausing. We carry the same habits, the same expectations, the same pressure, and we call it a fresh start. But real change doesn't begin with a new year. It begins with reflection. I'm Clay Johnson, and welcome back to the podcast. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly paused to reflect on your year? Not just the highlights, but the lessons, the discomfort, the quiet moments that shaped you. And when was the last time you intentionally thought about how you want to show up in the year ahead? For me, that pause came in mid-December during a solo weekend escape to Bali. I love traveling alone. It gives me permission to slow down, to think, to really listen to myself. And interestingly, it rained almost the entire time. At first I thought, well, this isn't what I pictured, but it turned out to be perfect. I spent hours sitting on a sofa by the pool, safely under the roof, listening to the rainfall. That steady, gentle rhythm did something to my nervous system. It softened me. It created space. And in that space, I reflected, I wrote, and I planned. Now, I know everyone can or wants to escape to Bali for a weekend, but that's not the point. The point is intention, creating space for yourself, wherever you are, to slow down and take stock. In this episode, I want to share my reflections on 2025, what I'm proud of, where I fell short, and how I'm stepping into 2026 with more clarity, focus, and intention. This is an episode about showing up, not perfectly, not intensely, but consistently, for yourself and for the life you're building. Sitting there in Bali, I started by revisiting my goals for 2025, but not in a checklist way. I wasn't asking, did I do everything I said I would? Instead, I asked, what mattered this year? Where did I stretch? How did I grow? And when I looked at it that way, there was so much to appreciate. I started this podcast, something deeply personal that's become a meaningful way to connect, reflect, and share honestly. I bought my first home, a milestone years in the making, and one that represents stability, commitment, and a sense of grounding I didn't always have. I took Bahasa language classes and started playing paddle, both small decisions that pushed me outside my comfort zone and reminded me that growth doesn't always have to be dramatic to be meaningful. I saw Lady Gaga at her concert in Singapore and returned to Mykonos, Greece for the first time in 10 years. I created memories that felt joyful, expansive, and deeply alive. I reconnected with people I hadn't spoken to in years. I made new friends, and I spent quality time with some of my closest friends in Belgium, time that reminded me how important shared history and deep connection really are. And professionally, I reached my 10-year anniversary at the company I work for. 10 years of learning, evolving, leading, and staying committed, even when things weren't easy. As the rain fell outside, I noticed a pattern running through all of this: growth, connection, and intentionality. I didn't do everything perfectly, but I showed up. Of course, not everything went the way I wanted it to. The areas where I fell short and where I'm choosing to be honest with myself are fitness and nutrition. I didn't reach the strength or body composition goals I had set. And instead of judging myself for that, I'm trying to see it clearly. Because acknowledging where we fall short isn't failure, it's information. It tells us where attention is needed. It reminds us that growth isn't linear. And it gives us a chance to reset without shame. That rain in Bali stayed with me during these reflections. It became a kind of quiet companion, reminding me that even uncomfortable truths don't have to feel harsh. They can be gentle. They can be met with curiosity instead of criticism. After looking back, I turned my attention forward. My theme for 2026 is consistency, not perfection, not intensity, just showing up again and again. Consistency is the foundation I want to build everything else on this year. Some of the intentions I am carrying into 2026 include physical health, continuing resistance training, being consistent with nutrition, and restarting tennis, a sport I've loved since I was a kid. Mental clarity, maintaining reflection practices, journaling, and habits that support emotional well-being. Relationships, nurturing old friendships, deepening the ones that matter most, and staying open to new connections. Personal growth, learning Greek beyond Duolingo. So if anyone listening is Greek and wants to teach me, please reach out. and traveling to at least one new country to create fresh experiences. Work and creative life, continuing to grow professionally and thoughtfully continuing this podcast into 2026, being intentional about how I show up here rather than pushing myself out of obligation. By centering the year around consistency, I'm giving myself permission to move forward without the pressure to overhaul my life. It's about small, meaningful actions done repeatedly. And you don't need a plane ticket to Bali to do this work. Your space for reflection might be a quiet morning with coffee, a long walk, a journal, or simply an afternoon unplugged from the noise. What matters is the pause. Reflection isn't about dwelling on the past. It's about using it as fuel. Your wins, your struggles, and even the moments you wish had gone differently, they're all guides pointing you forward. As we step into 2026, this is your invitation to slow down long enough to notice your life, to celebrate what went well, to be honest about what didn't, and to consciously choose how you want to show up. For me, the rain in Bali created the conditions for clarity. But you don't need rain or Bali or time away. You just need the willingness to pause and the courage to be honest with yourself. I'm Clay Johnson. Thank you for spending this time with me, for reflecting alongside me, and for stepping into 2026 with intention and consistency. There's a lot of possibility ahead. Let's meet it one intentional step at a time.